lovely people, you are welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for your subscription. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being part of this summary every day. We have ended the third quarter already and we have started a new quarter all together. And in this new quarter, it's all about education. Throughout the quarter, we are going to study to know the kind of education God expects us to have and how to have this education in our lives. Therefore, my dear, let's do this together, study together. Don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so we can all do this summary all the time together. Okay, we are beginning with lesson 1, and the lesson 1 is education in the Garden of Eden. Education in the Garden of Eden. Today's summary is based on Sabbath afternoon and Sunday lessons. Our memory text is taken from Job 36 verse 22. Behold, God is exalted by his power. Who teaches like him? Amen. Who teaches like God? God is exalted by his power. Who can teach like God? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We know that already. When we go into the lesson gave us Genesis 1 to 3. When we read Genesis 1 to 3, most of the times our minds are centered on the creation, the fall of man, God's instruction, Satan or the serpent, and also Adam and Eve being banished and all that. But in these few verses, it also points to us some form of education that Adam and Eve had. It's pointing out to us that Garden of Eden wasn't just a garden, but it was also a form of school for them. The system of education instituted at the beginning of the world was to be a model for man throughout all after time. As an instruction of 8 principles, a model school was established in Eden, the home of our first parent. The Garden of Eden was the schoolroom. Nature was the lesson book. The Creator himself was the instructor, and the parents of the human family were the students. That is Ellen G. White Education, page 20. Amen. And so God was their instructor. The things surrounding them were their lesson book, and the garden was their schoolroom or classroom. The Lord was founder, principal, and teacher of this first school. But as we know, Adam and Eve ultimately chose another teacher and learned the wrong lessons. What happened? Why? And what can we learn from this early account of education that can help us today? Amen. And so God being the instructor, the principal, and everything, teaching them and leading them in the right way, they chose to have another person as their teacher. So this week we are going to learn all that, to know how a perfect classroom ended up with an imperfect teacher that resulted in an imperfect classroom that is affecting all of us today. Sunday talks about the first school. And the first school is the Garden of Eden. God created the garden and provided everything in the garden, then created Adam. In God's own knowledge, realized that Adam cannot live alone in the garden. He cannot be the only student in the garden, so God created Eve to be his life partner. And so the two became students in the garden. When we read Genesis 2 verses 7 to 23, there was a question. It said, what do you notice about God's purposefulness in creating, placing, and employing Adam? And so God was purposeful in his creating. He didn't just start creating. Everything he was doing, he had a purpose. God made the man and the woman in his image and gave them a home and meaningful work. When you consider teacher-student dynamics, this is an ideal relationship. God knew Adam's abilities because he had created Adam. He could teach Adam, knowing that Adam could realize his full potential. Amen. So God being the teacher, knowing the abilities of his students, After creating them, he didn't just leave them like that. He also gave them a meaningful work. And as they do this work, it's going to help them realize their potentials in life. God knows all of us, our capabilities, and what he can teach us, or lessons he can bring in our life that will help us identify or realize our potentials in life. In Genesis 2:19-23, God created animal companions for Adam, and he also created Eve as Adam's wife. God knew that Adam needed the companionship and help of a peer, so he created woman. He created a woman, Eve, to be Adam's companion. God also knew that man needed to be in close relationship with him, so he created an intimate space in Eden within the confines of the garden. All of this attests to God's purposefulness in creation and his love for humanity. And so God, in his creation, he knowing everything, and he being perfect God, knew exactly what Adam needed. And so before he even created Adam, he created all that will help Adam to thrive in life. He created all that will help to teach Adam to get the lessons that will help him identify or reveal his potentials. It's the same way, even though our world is fallen now, God has a way of helping us identifying or revealing our potentials. Thanks so much for being part of today's summary. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing, and hey, don't forget to share this video. You might win a soul by just sharing this video. Bye bye.